I made this video for a real brand and it's outperforming all the ads they paid an agency to do for them. I did it with help of Invideo's agent. I started with uploading the image of the product, here's the party cake, and in a short prompt I explain the size and what's it for. The first step to create an ad is the world building. You need to create the setting, and from that you can build your little universe. So using only the keg as reference, I prompted to put it in a barbecue setting. I said I want a typical London house garden. I started creating images like this. This one is already really good. It's not my favorite, but in the same go, he made this one, which I like a lot. I love the type of lens distortion it creates. It always makes images more realistic. The agents understand the bad prompting I do by just talking and create a more specific prompt based on the things I told it to. Here you can see the specs and which image model they used, which reference images they attached. I asked you to put some barbecue meat around, some smoke to show how hot it is, and it did an amazing job already. Here I wanted some cooler angles, so I asked you to create a really wide lens distortion on the objects closest to the lens. And this is the effect it gave, which I really like. What is really cool is that since the model already have the understanding of everything we are doing, I asked it to put lots of margaritas on the table, and it did, based on the context of the previous setting. Since I needed World Cup themed, I asked it to put World Cup decorations up, put a cake stand that matches the colors of England, and it did an amazing job. I didn't specify how the flags should look like, especially how the stand would work physically. The next step is to create the models. As you can see here, it's always good to create a character sheet for each person, because then you're gonna keep a consistency later. Look, here's more options of the World Cup barbecue. These look so good. That's why it's selling so much. So each person have a character sheet. I asked the model to put England makeup on them and clothes they would wear when cheering for England, and it did a really good job. I told the agents to lock these characters and it's gonna remember that. So later when I ask for one of their names, Mia, Marcus, Jake, that's how I call them, it's gonna understand who I'm talking about and generate with the right people. I wanted to make a watch party. I ended up not using those generations, but I got some pretty good results. This is alright. I can still feel it's a bit AI made, but I ended up getting this one and I was happy with it. One advice is that the model keep wanting to put everyone together in the same frame, because I told them I wanted everyone, and you can see how it made the flat really narrow. This is not how a normal house would look like. And then I just explained, look, some people might be cropped out of the frame and that's totally fine. We start getting way better results. See, their faces are not fully in the center, but that's fine because it's a video. Camera moves around all the time, it's super dynamic. Not everyone needs to be on frame all the time. I also asked it to make someone pouring the cocktail out of the keg, and they also put this really handsome guy here, which I appreciate very much. And with really simple prompting, I could start building the scenes with people interacting with the product. This image, for example, like put the guy making barbecue in front of the grill, the guy with face painted next to him holding a margarita. These are the results I got. It's really impressive. Now an image of the girl in the garden with cocktail in hand, absolutely flawless. It was even asking me, which girl do you mean? The ginger one, the blonde one? It's a very conversational process. So I asked the model to lock them and start animating them. This image, I wanted the camera to slowly approach the tap pouring, and I simply asked the agent to do that, and I got this result quite quick. You can see I prompted the guy needs to be moving in the background. Here I took the image we created of her as reference and asked the model to make a really nice camera movement approaching her drinking. But I wanted her really downing it. I wanted to feel how fresh it is, so we created this one instead. I loved the detail of the liquid like running down her face. I simply asked it to create some dolly camera movements in the still images I had, and this way I built the entire ad. It takes a bit time to get used to it, to understand how you're gonna ask the model questions, what do you need to give to get the right thing out of them. But once you understand that, things become so much easier. So for this type of work, I really recommend using Invideo. You can use multiple agents at once. I'm gonna talk about that in the next video. And what's really cool is that it keeps the context of this entire project. You can see I made previous ads with the same models with the margarita. It remembers the angles I like to see the pouring from. It remembers what I liked, what I disliked. And inside your video editing software of choice, you can put everything together and start selling.